Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News Package for today. I'm your presenter, Heidi Christopher. Let's take a look at the top stories for today. A hurricane watch has been issued for the Commonwealth of Dominica. And the Minister for Education is pleased with the Grade 6 National Assessment results despite Hurricane Maria's challenge. Stay tuned for these and other stories when CBN4's Primetime News Package returns. We'll be right back. And welcome back. A hurricane watch has been issued for Dominica at 5 p.m. today. The government of France has issued a tropical storm watch for Martinique, Guadeloupe, Saint Martin and Saint Barthélemy. A hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions are possible within the watch area. At 5 p.m., the center of Hurricane Beryl was located near latitude 10.6 degrees north and longitude 47.8 degrees west. Beryl is moving towards the west near 15 miles per hour, and that is 24 kilometers per hour. A faster westward to west-northeastward motion is expected to begin over the weekend and continue through early next week. On the forecast track, the center of Beryl will approach the Lesser Antilles over the weekend and cross the island chain late Sunday or Monday. Maximum sustained winds are near 80 miles per hour with higher gusts. Some strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days, and Beryl could still be a hurricane when it reaches the Lesser Antilles late Sunday or Monday. However, weakening is expected once Beryl reaches the Eastern Caribbean Sea on Monday, but the system may not degenerate into the open trough until it reaches the vicinity of Hispaniola and the Central Caribbean Sea. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 10 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 35 miles. And once again, Dominica is gearing up to face the reality of another hurricane breathing down its neck. The center of Hurricane Beryl is expected to approach the Lesser Antilles over the weekend and cross the island chain late Sunday or Monday. CBN4 met with a few persons to find out about their preparedness before Beryl strikes. A taxi operator said that this hurricane should be taken with a great sense of seriousness.
I know other people have great concerns, and I think it is something that everybody should be concerned about, because for those who have witnessed Maria, they are still terrified. I was speaking to a gentleman even yesterday, and he said every time he hears the word hurricane, he starts crying. So I can say whatever that the situation would be if I'm on island. I will just be prepared.
Thank you very much.
And former chairman of the Kingsfield Urban Council, Simeon Albert, also shared his voice on his level of preparation as the weather system gets closer.
That I am ensuring that I do everything possible to ensure that I am prepared by ensuring I secure my home first of all, take all necessary action to secure my property. I urge everyone to do the very same. We must of course not take this Hurricane Beryl for granted. As you know, Maria was just less than 10 months ago, and we saw a very similar pattern with Maria, one that certainly we monitored closely, and within a matter of hours it turned into a Category 5 hurricane. And so no doubt Beryl can follow the very similar pattern, and that's one of the reasons why we should not take it for granted. And every family should ensure that we look out for each other in the communities. You know, there are people who have some disadvantage in terms of the ability to, the elderly, for example. We must ensure that we look out for the elders in the communities, ensure that we have food for at least 3 days, water for at least 3 days, drinking water in particular, because we are expected to have a lot of rainfall. So if we do not get a lot of wind, we will have a lot of rainfall, and this will of course cause our rivers, as we know, to flow heavily, and that will result in us having the water system being affected as well. So we ought to take all those necessary measures, and I would urge people with houses that have concrete roofs, that have glass windows, glass doors, don't hesitate to put a sheet of plywood over your windows, over your doors, because I saw in many cases during Maria where if some people had done so, they would also be safe in their homes. And so all of these I urge people to do, and let's just ensure that we monitor our radio closely. You get a transistor radio, ensure you have batteries, ensure you have a flashlight. Those will be needed. Fuel in your vehicles, fuel for your generator. Ensure, because most people have a generator now, but let's ensure that we put all those things in place and look and monitor on the hour closely to our radio, as we will know what is the status of burial as it gets closer to the island.
A preliminary shelters list was sent out earlier today, indicating the areas where shelters are opened and can be found. Still, with dealing with the weather, some businesses are still in process of renovating post-Hurricane Maria, and that is no exception for the Prevost Cine Mall. Dominic is yet again in the pathway of another hurricane, and the director of Prevost Cine Mall, Norris Prevost, has said that it has been a tough journey from the devastation of Hurricane Maria to this present day, and doubts that we are prepared to face Hurricane Beryl.
You can see that we are still in the process of renovating post-Hurricane Maria. We've come a long way, but the job is not yet completed. Where we are here, we have had to completely renovate. We have also done some innovation by connecting the upper floor with a nice step and creating a nice department store opportunity here. You can see on the outside, our plywood are still up from the last hurricane, and we do not intend to take them down until after the season. We cannot say that we are fully prepared. It's been a tough season from Maria to now. It's been tough trying to get back on our feet. You know the difficulties that almost everybody has had in finding contractors and building materials and so forth. And of course, the whole process is going slowly. We are taking whatever precautions we can. We have reinforced our roof the best way we can, using the best techniques and so forth. And that is as much as we can do. We, from a personal point of view, will stock up with a little bit of food. We're relying on Dominicans to be a little more civil in their behavior. And we do not anticipate that Dominicans will fall again into the looting trap. It is not something that is good for.
And we'll be back with more news right after this break. Stay tuned.
Sweet talk, dear man, have a lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know, it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
And welcome back. Education Minister Honorable Peter Seja has said that the Ministry of Education was overly concerned about the likely implications on the students' performances of both the internal and external exams. The minister said that following the devastation of Hurricane Maria on September 2017, the education system was dealt a massive blow. Several of the schools were completely destroyed, while others were damaged beyond use.
Fear was that our children would encounter difficulties in preparing for their exams because of the trauma that is associated with the hurricane, or that the lack of electricity would impact on their ability to study and to work at home. Believe you me, we were worried that the absence of the usual comfort at our schools would distract them from their studies, and their teachers grappling with the stress of post-Maria Dominica would be further challenged to deliver their best in the classroom.
Seja said he is, however, happy to note that the 2018 results are similar to what was obtained in previous years.
In some cases, we note improvements in performance, while some of our schools continue to struggle.
Seja further noted that the students have demonstrated their own brand of resilience and persevered with the support of their parents and the wider community. In other news, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela on Thursday marked the 207th anniversary since the declaration of its independence. Like other years, the members of the Venezuelan embassy laid wreaths at the Simon Bolivar Square in goodwill to signal the celebrations. His Excellency Aiden Pirela, Venezuela's ambassador to Dominica, said that this marked an important day for the Venezuelan people.
Bolivar, you can see here, and Francisco Miranda, among other heroes of our freedom and sovereignty. Venezuela is a country in the Caribbean with a population of 30 million, a friendly and solidary country, lover of peace and respect for country, with oil, war, good agriculture, low human resource, with today is being attacked and blocked by country with anti-helped country that do not seek dialogue but conspiracy and hatred.
Meantime, the Deputy Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Reginald Austri, said the independence in the lives of the Venezuelan people means the establishment of a nation based on the principles of equality, abolition of censorship, and dedication to freedom of expression.
In doing so, all those who fought for the establishment of the Republic overturned the political, cultural, and social practices that prevailed during the 300 years of colonization and suppression of the Venezuelan people.
He went on to say that Venezuela became the first country to establish diplomatic relations with the Commonwealth of Dominica following the independence in 1978.
Friendship has grown from strength to strength, and we formed a friendship based on mutual respect, solid trust and respect for constitutional authority and for the rule of law. Over the years, Venezuela has repeatedly demonstrated profound sincerity and friendship by standing by us in our darkest days and our darkest moments, especially following our several disasters. You were probably the first country who came to our support following Tropical Storm Erica and also following Hurricane Maria. You continue to stand strong by us, even when you too are going through some of your dark days. But we are confident that with the strength of the Venezuelan people, with their tenacity and their courage, you too shall overcome like Dominica strong.
The Congress declared Venezuela's independence on the 5th of July in 1811, establishing the Republic of Venezuela. Even before the Congress began its sessions in November 1810, A civil war started between those who supported the juntas and eventually independence and royalists who wanted to maintain the union with Spain. And also in the news, the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health and Social Service ended a 6-week Get Healthy campaign, the link between oral health and non-communicable diseases, NCDs, in the St. Joseph Health District at Salisbury Health Center. The Health Promotion Unit and the Dental Services conducted the campaign. The main objectives of the campaign were to increase the awareness of the importance of oral health and NCDs, to demonstrate the management strategies of oral health in NCDs, to increase the use of preventative measures and interventions, and to demonstrate the effectiveness of proper brushing, flossing, and gargling. Topics discussed include diets and foods, looking at the 6 food groups, food that are considered non or low in acid, and the importance of a balanced diet. Oral health and non-communicable diseases, risk factors associated with NCDs, what is NCDs and the management strategies of oral health in NCDs. Tooth structure, different parts of a tooth, the process of tooth decay and how to recognize the signs and symptoms of dental caries, gums disease and halitosis. Preventative measures taken to avoid oral health problems, development of oral health practices, how to care for your mouth and teeth. Demonstration and practice session, developing skills in the use of preventative tools in mouth care. 25 people participated in the program and received certificates. And stay tuned, we'll be back with more news after the break.
Sweet talk, dear man, never lot of that. Yes, I. You don't know, it's your boy Trilogy, urging everybody, young and old, to stay strong and stay healthy. You don't know we're doing it for 2018. Boom.
Welcome back, now with a few items of sports. In cricket, Bangladesh's batsmen failed for a second time in the first cricket test on Thursday as Windies closed in on a 3-day victory. The tourists ended day 2 on 62 for 6 in 18 overs after its first innings score of 43, the lowest score ever for Bangladesh, to trail host by 301 runs with only 4 second innings wickets left. Windies resumed overnight on 201 for 2 and went on to 406 all out, with Craig Brathwaite scoring 121, Shea Hope with 67 and Devon Smith getting 58. Windies had taken complete control on Wednesday after Kemar Roach claimed a remarkable 5 wickets in 12 balls, and Bangladesh posted the second shortest test innings of all time, lasting just 18.4 overs. Roach became the 3rd cricketer after Australian Monty Noble and South Africa's Jacques Kallis to take 5 wickets in 12 deliveries, the fewest number in which the feat has been achieved. Still with cricket, Australia edged a victory on the penultimate delivery of the match against Zimbabwe by 5 wickets, chasing a target of 152. Australia lost openers early in the chase. but Glenn Maxwell and Travis Head resisted well and got Australia back on track. Maxwell went to struck a fine half-century while Head notched up 48. Zimbabwe did come back in the game after they removed Maxwell and then picked a couple of wickets more in quick succession to take the match in the last over where the visitors needed 7. Tiripanu had the ball in his hand and he bowled back-to-back wides to start the proceedings. Australia later needed 2 of 2 when Stones struck the winning runs for the Aussies. Zimbabwe earlier rode on Solomon Murr's 63 and to reach 151 in 20 overs. Australia will now play Pakistan in the final on Sunday. And Raphael Varane and Antoine Griezmann scored a goal each to send France through to the World Cup semi-finals on Friday. Varane glanced home a Griezmann free kick to open the scoring before the Atletico Madrid man doubled France's advantage just after the hour mark in a moment to forget for Uruguay goalkeeper Fernando Muslera. Griezmann found space 25 yards out and fired in a shot that should have been routine for Muslera, but the ball slipped through his grasp and into the net. Oscar Tabarez's Uruguay, without the injured striker Edinson Cavani, never looked like finding a route back into the game, and France now await their next opponent in St. Petersburg on Tuesday. And that takes us to the end of the Primetime News package for today. On behalf of the entire CBN4 team, I am Alan Christopher saying thank you for watching and join us again next time.